I am angry.
I didn't mean to laugh. Why are you angry, Scott?
Because we're recording this episode too late.
We are. I might add that we've recorded them much later than this before.
We have, but we're making... we've been good the last couple of weeks. We've been much healthier in our habits. We've been going to bed earlier. We've been waking up early and wanting to get up early, not just sleeping in because, we're so tired. We've had more energy. So I don't know. And I feel like we've done some really good healthy habits in the past couple of weeks. Started to break some old ones. And we vowed this morning in bed, we vowed that we would do this early and we'd get off and we would be eating at 7 p.m. or 7:30 and watching our shows. And it's now 9 p.m. and by the time we've recorded this and scheduled this, it'll be at least 10 p.m.
Yeah, which it is frustrating that we are not good at... That we have, I guess, had a bit of a setback today. But that doesn't mean that that's going to continue after this point. I think that we've done very well. Generally speaking. Maybe today we could have... But what bit of time? I don't feel like there has been. So,
Well,
on what?
there's always time.
Or when would you have done it today?
Before dinner.
But then we'd have been eating late.
No, it won't. When did you get back?
About 7:15.
All right, yeah, there's no chance. What, even from where you went today?
No, but I got back and then I made dinner. I literally, right, so I got home from somewhere. There's going to be edited out.
Yeah.
Went for a walk. That was a much longer walk than anticipated. Went to the shop.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm happy I didn't go with you to have a run.
I know, innit? I'd
have had to run a marathon.
You'd have had to run home.
I'd have had to run home. And I did a 5k today. I thought I'm just going to do a short because I was so shattered in the morning. It's absolutely poop from yesterday.
Oh, darling. So, well, yes, lucky that you didn't come with us. But I was there for longer than anticipated. Then I went and bought some potatoes and spinach to make the sagaloo that I was making for us. Got home, made the sagaloo. Literally, from the minute I got in, I was cooking it. And then I took my nephew home, went to Weight Watchers, messaged you to cook rice. You didn't see my message, so then I got in and cooked the rice. Then we ate. There was no bit of time today.
Fair enough.
There's literally no bit of time today.
There was no time. Fair enough. We planned to do it, but yeah, your time out in the day, it went, much longer than anticipated. But that's life.
That is life.
That's life. You can't be angry at it.
I mean, you can be. You're entitled to feel angry.
No, so someone framed this really interestingly to me, and I have discussed it with ChatGPT, and it actually says it's not completely true, but I still think that it's a nice way of looking at it when it comes to anger. So anyway, this is how someone framed anger and annoyed to me. Anger is when someone is actively trying to make you angry. They are trying to anger you, poking you when you don't want to be poked. Just keep poking, you keep poking, you keep poking. That, your anger. But they framed annoyed as someone who has made you angry, but it isn't intentional. It's completely not intentional. For example, heavy breathing, which they can't control. Maybe they're just a bit of a heavy breather, but you become annoyed at them, and then you become a victim, and you you become very annoyed at them that they are making you angry, and it's you're the victim. But in reality, you're not. You're choosing to be annoyed at something that they can't control, and they're not trying to annoy you. So I thought it was an interesting way of framing it. But whether that's strictly true with the word angry and annoyed doesn't really matter. The fact is that, I think you should assess things in life when you're angry. Am I angry because someone's intentionally trying to make me angry? Or am I angry because I've chosen to be angry out of someone's actions that had zero intention to anger me?
Interesting.
I think it's I'm trying to assess my anger more. And this right now, I'm playing the victim
Mm.
because it's no one's fault. No one's intentionally, made it late. No one's intentionally, wasted time
Nobody's
today.
fast forwarded the clocks.
Yeah, neither of us have wasted time today. You've been out with your family, and so you bloody well should be. You got some time off now. Easter holidays.
Yeah.
It's a good time. So yeah. But good learning. But I still slip into it. But I'm trying to be more conscious of it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's something the other day that I was saying to you about, like, that, like, just there are certain things that I think we find triggering and that anger us, that, like, I think you've summarized it very, very well there. That is, we feel, like, annoyed at people and we get angry. But it's not, like, their intention. It could be something of nothing that they do, like... Yeah, in school it really bugs me when somebody is clicking a pen. Like that's just like a natural thing. They're not doing it sometimes they do it to wind me up.
Yeah, sometimes they will.
But sometimes they just do it like I play with my lanyard and it's like a fidget toy almost.
Yeah.
But when a kid's clicking it, I'm like, can you please stop clicking the pen? So and like I can be, obviously I don't get angry at a student, but I mean I can feel.
You feel the rage
I
boiling
feel
up.
like if they click that pen one more time, I'm gonna have to step outside because it's good. Like I feel like my head's gonna explode because it's something that. But they don't know that. Like to them, it's not annoying. Otherwise, they won't be clicking it.
Yeah.
So like I think it's a very wise distinction that you've made there between whether someone's intentionally trying to upset you and make you angry, or is it something in you that's causing that? Like, are they yeah. I feel like there's a lot to learn about ourselves from those moments of, well, actually no one's intentionally trying to wind me up, and someone else in this situation might not even think anything of it. Like another pen clicker might not even
be aware. Yeah.
Exactly. So that, like, just today at Weight Watchers they were talking about how it winds them up when someone doesn't refill the kettle at work after they've used it. I was like, I never refill the kettle after I use it. Like, but I've never come to it full. So like, it wouldn't enter my head. Like, I fill it when I use it, and ask anyone else if they want a cup of making. But for me, it takes less than 10 seconds to open the kettle and refill it. So I wouldn't think to refill it after using it because it seems like a something or nothing thing to do. But that winds them up. Or they were saying, like, if somebody doesn't take the old toilet roll off, if they leave the inside of the toilet roll, if they leave that in the staff toilet and don't put it in the bin.
Yeah.
Well, I could see myself doing that as well, to be fair. And that, really that they were saying they're like their pet peeves. And they might get angry at me.
Yeah.
For something that I wouldn't even enter my head to be an issue. So I think that's, you're speaking about it now, it makes so much sense, that difference between whether someone's intending to wind you up or it's just something internal in you. And I think those are the things that we need to work on.
Yeah.
The ones that are
100%.
internal.
100%. Yeah. I think the more we look at it like that, exactly what you said, you've summarised it beautifully. The more we can capture those moments where we're making us the victim, I think we'll become a better person. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that the next time you're not going to get angry about it, but I think over time, the more you focus on it, the more you resolve it, the less angry you will get about it over time. Yeah, probably most pet peeves are that. That's probably most pet peeve. One of my pet peeves is people not waiting for people to come off the train.
Oh, yeah.
That really does my head in, where they just start flocking on like sheep and they're all just fighting each other. And it's just like, oh my God, this train's going to be here for like 5 minutes anyway. Like, if the anyway, but I can't control that. I can't control the millions of people who do it every day, can I? But I think, and the result of it, I think that's what you need to then, if you're focusing now on it, what's the result? The result is, if I choose to be angry about it, I will forever be angry about it because I have zero control on it. So therefore, if you have, something that's going to happen every day, like if you get the train to work every day, okay, well, that's a guaranteed thing that you're going to get angry about twice a day. So that's already two things, you can get angry about 5 days a week, and then there'll be other things like little things, maybe someone cutting you up, whatever. So then if the result of that is you're just going to be angry in your day through things. So you're kneeling to accepting, I will be angry every day. And I don't see how you can argue that. I think if you say, oh no, that's ridiculous, well, that's kind of a silly argument, because you are saying, I'm going to be angry at this thing. You have no control of it. You're going to face it every day. So what's the alternative? The alternative is, putting attention to it and working towards, easing off on it. And at first, you won't. You'll still be very angry at that thing. And it might take quite a bit of time. And maybe, I don't know, maybe there'll always be a bit of an annoyance there. But I think the impact it'll have on your day will become a lot less. And I think that's the most important thing out of this is, you don't want to then go flying into work or flying into home when, you just say hello to your kid and, you're a bit off of them, or you don't really engage with them too much, or a partner or a brother or a sister, an auntie, then they're like, oh, they feel that. They feel that offness. And so I think it's, something to be looked at.
Absolutely. And, well, so would you say that was one of the things that you learned on your Vipassana, one of the main things that you learned on your Vipassana retreat?
Yeah, there was a few. So I went for one specific thing, which I can vocalize now, but I'll get to that in a minute. But yes, anger was one thing, and basically we learned, and we were able to talk at the end of it. And basically there was some really, the minds in that group were really incredible. I don't know, they just, I've been to a lot of networking groups. I've been through multiple therapy sessions, CBT, EMDR. I've been through many different things in my life. So I feel like I've heard a lot. I've watched a lot of gurus talk. I've done a lot of courses, paid silly money for some, and you hear a lot of the same old shit. And it sort of numbs you. But I must say there was a lot of things I heard about myself, and just the ways their mindsets on things were things I'd not heard before. So that really opened my eyes to like, wow, Scott, there's still a lot to learn. Not that I feel like I know it all, but I was just quite surprised by that. But anyway, this was one of them, and they called it out, and the end result was they were saying, you need to find healthier ways to express anger, because I'm someone who bottles it in. I don't shout. I don't know how to shout. I'll swear a little bit, but I'd never swear aggressively at someone. I'd more swear to myself. All my anger at people or at anything is bounced straight back to myself. It's all vocalized back to myself in my head. I'm vocally, but to myself. I really fear, a fear of mine is confrontation. I really, really, really don't like confrontation in any form, even as small as complaining at a restaurant.
Yeah, you hate that, don't you?
I fucking hate it. I find it crippling.
And it really pains, because we are from families who love to complain when stuff isn't right.
Yeah, I don't even want to relive when we went to, there's a restaurant called Brown's, and we went in there, and it was just the worst experience for me in a restaurant. Like, it was just, my food wasn't that bad, but to be fair, everyone else's wasn't great, but it wasn't one complaint, and you could see this waitress, it was like
she really was struggling.
It was like a first day.
Yeah.
And every time she came over, just someone on the table just ripped her a new one. And I was
Nobody was rude.
they weren't rude, but they just weren't giving her a break. Like every time they come, my mum would say something, then someone else would say something down the table, and then someone else, and you could tell every time she came, she was like shaking. She got to the point where she was shaking.
Yeah, no, I didn't like it.
She was like tearing. I'm like I was like frozen in fit. Like it's just I find it horrible. And then the manager came and they destroyed her, and like they just like I was like, what the fuck is wrong with all you guys? Like, yeah, okay, it's not. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It's just some meals were a bit cold, like, but it wasn't like someone's done a shit on a plate. Like I was just like, Jesus, like, okay, get a discount stuff, but just why do we have to ride it out? We complained like 8 times.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. So that was a horrific experience for me. But yeah, so I think anyway, that's my whole relationship thing. So I need healthy outlets. So maybe when we get settled in one location, I'll pick up boxing again. That'll be a good one.
Yeah, I think so. I've never. We've been together 3.5 years. I've never once seen you get. I've seen you get. You know, like you've said, when you reflect things back, and yeah, you know. But I don't feel like I've seen anger. Like I've never seen you get angry at anyone. Never seen. No, like I've never seen you raise your voice. You've never once yelled at me.
No, I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's not in me to yell at someone. There'll never be a day where I'd yell in your face. I
mean, that's part of why I love you so much.
I just think it would be disgusting to do that.
Yeah, but not many. You know, I feel like that's a quite unique thing because I think a lot of. I don't want to say it. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, men are like this, but like I think a lot of men show their anger. I think that's quite a male trait to show anger, whereas I think
we are
women
big,
tend to get upset.
angry men, aren't we? We do have grumpy bumps.
Yeah, not again. Like, you know, I don't want to be like categorizing. I don't want to be like all men are like this or all men are like that. like, but I do think that, you know, if we were to boil it down to stereotypes, I think like when I get angry, I think that I'm typical of a woman and that I get upset and I'll cry when I'm angry because I don't really know how to deal with that anger. Whereas I think men are more likely to go and punch someone if they're angry at them or punch a wall or, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm right though, aren't I?
Yeah, we're going to punch someone at the pub.
No, I don't mean a random. I mean like...
Punch. I don't know, there's people that'll go...
look for an argument, won't they?
Yeah, definitely. There's people that'll go on a night out and they'll look for it. You can see it in their eyes.
Yeah, that's true.
But
what I mean is like, you're not... I've never seen that in you. I've never seen you think, you know, you're angry so you're going to go and hit somebody.
No, it's just not in my DNA. Not in my DNA. I steer away from that. But I still get angry. And that's what the struggle is, because then it puts you in an angry mood like more regularly because you don't express it and you're constantly in that state. So then you have people go, "Are you all right?" I go, "Yes." And I won't react. Like, I might be a little short. I'll be short, but I will never like have a go at people. Not in the way you'd probably expect. You know, maybe a bit passive aggressive at times. And I think my way if I'm annoyed at people is how do I explain what I do? It's a bit of a dick trait. I'm a bit of a joker. Like, I deliberately joke at people to annoy them. Like, I will say things, like, I won't say mean things. It's so hard to articulate. So I think the closest I can articulate is I'll reflect on what we're having the argument about, whatever, and it'll be a blend of sarcasm and condescending, but in a way that's quite light. But if you keep doing it, it really pisses someone off. And and you'll repeat what they've said, and then I'll just repeat in a slightly different way. And they'll be like, and then they'll say, "No, this is what I meant," and then I'll be like, "Yeah, no, I know." And then I'll repeat in a slightly different way. And like, I don't know, I just do it quite naturally. And then, you know, they storm out the room by that point. But that's I like it for me. I kind of a joke with people. That's the way I express anger. I kind of just have fun with it until they walk out of the room. And then I feel awful.
Yeah.
And I don't always feel great doing it. I just feel this rage in me. And I just feel like I'm going to play with them until they get angry.
Yeah, you like want to make the other person feel as angry as I am.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Exactly, yeah. Hopefully you'd say I don't do that on a regular, but...
No, God, no.
But that is I'm just being very open with how I probably express anger.
Yeah. See, I think when I'm angry, like, I want someone to apologise to me. I think that's like, I don't want to make them angry. I want them to be sorry.
So that I think that's a very healthy way.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, that's healthy because for me, I honestly think anger is the hardest emotion. I think it's the hardest emotion out of any emotion. Not to devalue of emotions, there's definitely a lot of struggles with, like anxiety, sadness, there is things that are hard with them, but I think anger is the hardest because when you're angry, it clouds everything. It clouds your judgment, it clouds your values, it just completely clouds your brain. And all you can think is in fury. And that will always, if you act in fury, it will always result in bad. And it'll push people away and it'll create fucking explosions all around you. Whereas, I think so I think anger is the hardest emotion to deal with personally.
It is.
But I feel like we've gone a lot about anger there.
We have.
Probably too much.
Well...
I'm angry about that.
Are you about that? Are you really?
Oh, see. Oh, God. I'm not like that.
No, you're not.
No.
So, well, what else? What would you like to share about your learning style?
Oh, well, I may as well just get to it. The reason I went on a Vipassana retreat was because I've been toying with the idea of whether I should resign from my job. And the reason I couldn't vocalise this on the last episode is because at that point I hadn't resigned. And if we haven't shared this with our network, but it has slowly, people have started to recognise it through our shorts. We've had the odd friend start to pick up on our shorts and family members. So I don't know who's listening.
Just on your side, I might add.
Yeah, they're all on my side. Oh my God, I accidentally followed someone today of one of my...
Who didn't already follow us?
Yeah. No, I was doing the follow strategy on our TikTok and I was so confused because I was trying to unfollow some people, but in the following, it said follow. I don't know. Because my phone's black and white at the moment, I got confused with the colour and I just followed them. And I thought, no! Oh, just follow them! And I went on their account and I didn't know how to unfollow them. There was no unfollow button.
Wow.
And I was like, ChatGPT, how do I unfollow? Like, I'm such an old man. I was like freaking out, like, oh my God, unfollow. So fingers crossed I didn't get a notification. It would be just a bit embarrassing. I haven't spoken to that person in a long time. But what was I talking about? Okay, yeah, the thing I went there for. Please do interject because it's going to be a lot of me talking here.
Okay, I will.
So I went there, so I've been trying to understand whether I should resign. It's been a very difficult decision to make. I've known my days are numbered in the industry I operate. So I work in marketing. I have done for 10 years. I knew a few years ago that my days are going to be numbered, but I knew I still had enough passion in me to, do another, push myself to the next level of my career. And I'm super proud with that. Manage a team, traveled the world with this company, freaking ran loads of events all around the world and just done a lot of exciting stuff, with a lot of big majors in pharmaceutical, automotive, like the top companies. So super proud of that. But I just, the last 6 months, it's just been crucifying. And it's not the company, it's not the people. They're lovely. I love them all. I love my manager. I love my team. I love them all. But It's just me. I'm just not passionate about it anymore. I don't have a love for it anymore. I'm not inspired to get up. It was like even last year, I've not been motivated to get up and do it. I've been dragging and dragging and dragging for it, and it's been I mean, you've seen me in some right states, so I mean, you can mention that, but yeah, I mean, I've been in some right states just trying to grind through it. So yeah, I spent the full 5 days totally focused, 50 hours of meditation in every lunch break. I had a set agenda in my head and just spent full 2 hours just dissecting for against, for against, for against. You know, should I stay for the money? Should I not? You know, what's next? You know, everything every reason to not do it, I completely focused on. I said, I'm not leaving this area until I've resolved that. Like, why? Why am I against it? Is that okay? Is that not? You know, what are the reasons why I don't like it? Can I change them? Yes or no? Like, come on, pin them. Don't just say you're angry. Pin those exact points when you can't change that you're angry about. And I did it. It was quite intensive and emotional at times, but I just focused my ultimate attention just on dissecting that. And every day I did it, and by the 5th day, I was content with my decision.
And I'm so happy that you really got that out of it, because for months and months you've agonized over this decision about what to do in your role, you know, whether to resign, whether to take a different role within the company, whether to go part-time. You know, you've looked at it from every possible angle. And then when you decided to go and do the Vipassana, I think for me, I was just desperately hoping that you would get out of it what you wanted to.
Yeah, me too. Oh,
You know, if you'd have come back with more questions or
it
like,
would have been hell.
yeah. So I'm just really. So did it take the full 5 days for you to be certain?
Roundabout, I think it was the 4th day where no, I think it was the 3rd day, which I got there. I was like, okay, this is happening. And that was actually the day that I spent the whole lunch just visualizing the conversation with my manager. Because again, I've connected with him on a really nice level. Like, I've met his family, I've stayed at his apartment. You know, you've stayed there. You've
Yeah,
met
they're
his
lovely.
family. You've met his mum.
Yeah.
You've literally been to his mum. So like we've connected on a more, you know, a high level, more as like friends. So I was like, oh, I just felt so bad, and I get very emotionally connected to people. So yeah, I just totally went through that like 2 or 3 times in my head, like even like challenged myself with the questions he would ask me. But anyway, the end of the 3rd day, I was like, it's happening. But the 4th and the 5th, like my head popped with the odd other reasons not to. So I had to go and resolve them in the lunch times. I had to really focus, and some of them were really hard. Like the money was one of the hardest. But I found a way, and I'm very logical, so I won't commit to something unless there's logic.
But yeah, I mean,
So yeah,
you won't buy a thing off of Amazon unless you've
no.
reviewed every possible alternative plan and decided
Can
that
be
it's
to
the
my
most cost
detriment.
effective, it's the most you know, high quality, it's got the good reviews, it's travelable. Like you really analyze everything to the nth degree.
Yeah, I won't purchase anything without a reason. I would never purchase a t-shirt. Very, very rarely. I mean, I've done it like twice in the last 3 years. Very rarely would I just purchase something just because I like it.
Yeah.
It tends to have a purpose. Like even all my wrestling tops recently I bought, it's because I want to be in wrestling gear at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and you've got like a specific top for a
And it's
specific event.
I knew that I'd want to wear that on that WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be with all the wrestling fans. I want to be in wrestling gear, you know. So if that wasn't gonna happen, I wouldn't have bought any of it. So like even like that, and I love wrestling.
Yeah.
So you know, even something as simple as that. Yeah.
You see, I feel like I've got so much to learn from you, because I'm the opposite. I just buy something just because I feel like it.
Well, it's funny because I think yours is probably more of an ADHD trait. Mine's more of an autistic trait.
Yeah, well, I think that's true. Yeah, I think mine's impulsive
Yeah.
shopping, and yours is like categorize it, understand it, analyze it, and then if it makes sense, buy it.
I don't want to make clear neither of us are diagnosed, but we are soon to be going through some tests.
We are
soon.
and as like, you know, I work with people with additional needs on the daily, and I've filled in forms in the past, you know, where children are being assessed for it, and like so I feel like I have a strong enough ground, not that I can diagnose, but strong enough to know that we have traits of things.
Yeah, you're exposed to it more than the average person. You definitely are, and you know, I'm confident. Well, I mean, I know we are neurospicy.
We are neurospicy.
Which the actual term is neurodivergent.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, I know I definitely am dyslexic.
I know I'm definitely dyslexic.
You're dyslexic. Oh yeah. We're both dyslexic.
You say that as though I don't know this. You're like, I definitely know that I'm dyslexic.
Sorry, I forgot you were dyslexic for a second. Yeah, so we are neurodivergent, and that tends to be a sort of blend of everything.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I had an email today. I'd actively requested it. They specifically do a neurodivergent test, a consultation.
Who do?
A private clinic.
As in, like, they'll just test you for everything?
Well, I've got a discovery call on Thursday about it.
Interesting.
But I've read it, and it very much seems like that, yeah. It seems so. They do a pre-consultation, and then they recommend, okay, we think you're showing traits of X, Y, and Z, then you should go for a full diagnosis. So I believe they're just going to say, yeah. And I think that's a really good path, because then instead of just spending a bunch of it, because diagnosing in autism, ADHD, etc., it's a lot of money. So I think that would be good, because then it gives me a compass. So if it's good, if the discovery call, I'm confident I'll definitely do it. So yeah. Very
good. Well, I'm excited to hear more about that come Thursday.
Definitely. You know, this year we both said it's the year of the tests.
It is the year of the tests.
So, and we're committed to that. So I'm committed to learning more about myself, whether that's, you know, positives or negatives.
Well, absolutely. I feel like, whatever feels like negative in the moment, it's just positive because you're learning more about yourself. So it only helps us to grow.
It does.
And yeah, I'm excited for us to learn more about each other and ourselves.
We are, baby. It'll only bring us closer. Well, I feel like that's a pretty good point to go on to our segments.
Okay, yeah. Are you doing your segment before my segment?
Yes.
Wonderful.
I sure am. And we will, just a little nod to Jean-Paul. I have got into that recently, and we'll, just a heads up for a future episode.
Oh, yes.
If you're a Jean-Paul Sartre.
Jean-Paul Sartre.
Sartre.
I would just say Sartre.
Sartre. And his wife, I always struggle to say his wife's name.
Well, I don't know if I don't think they were married. Simone de Beauvoir.
Beauvoir. Oh, I love that. Beauvoir.
Isn't it great?
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, right. Well, they must have, I don't know. It
they were
like
lovers,
they were
definitely.
Lovers, yeah.
I mean, they're buried together in Paris.
Yes, they are. We've been to it. But we're reading the book You say the first word, I'll say the second word.
Existentialism.
Is a humanism. Shelby's here for the words. If you've been here long enough, you know that Shelby does the grammar of the podcast. She's the elocutionist.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll definitely, discuss a few points of that on a future episode.
Absolutely. Philosophy is a key part of our podcast, so I look forward to it. Yeah, because it is really linked in with, you know, what you've been doing and the growth that you've had it from your meditation retreat. So I'm excited to dive into that in another episode. It is. Existentialism.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So let's jump in to Scott's WTF of the week.
WTF? What?
That is fantastic.
Thank you, that's the name.
So we all know this world is a very strange place, and I'm here to bring you the strangest news from this week. And I even have a video. This is an audio podcast, but maybe we'll put it in a TikTok. So there is a video that has come out in the last month of a Chilean in actually Patagonia, which I was actually talking about Patagonia today, and he was a kayaker, and whilst paddling in Strait of Magellan, the kayaker Adrian Simakis, who was with his dad, he was kayaking in the sea, and a whale, big humpback whale, came up, and what do you think happened?
Humped him.
Humped him?
It's a humpback whale.
I don't think it can. Well, I'm going to show you the video in real time, and I'll talk about it. Oh my god, it's the end of the video, so you've already seen it. But he is kayaking in the sea right now.
Yeah.
And this humpback whale comes up.
Oh shit.
And it swallows him whole. And the kayak and the human completely whole.
Oh my god. So this is his dad filming, is it?
Yeah. So this is his dad filming his son get swallowed by a humpback whale in Patagonia.
Oh my days.
Pretty scary. But luckily he survived. Actually, if you watch the video, it spits him right back out. But it's pretty crazy, really. It's totally caught on camera, so it's an interesting watch. And actually, Adrian shared a few words. He said he genuinely thought he was going to be swallowed and was just waiting for the whale's stomach acids.
Oh god.
Which is crazy to think. Imagine that just like being. I think there was a SpongeBob episode where they get stuck in a whale.
It happens in Pinocchio, doesn't it?
Was it?
Pinocchio, yeah. Pinocchio gets eaten by a whale.
All right. I've not seen Pinocchio for a while. But he resurfaced quite quickly, and his dad came to the rescue. And just a fun fact, just so you're not left fearful in the future that a whale's going to come gobble you up, a humpback whale at least. Marine biologists firstly say that the whale was just probably was just feeding, and the lunge was their mouths open to scoop up krill and small fish, but scooped up a human. But to put your hearts at rest is that the humpback whales can't actually swallow humans. They can't actually swallow humans because their throats are too narrow.
Oh, so you just end up in the mouth.
So you just be in the mouth for a little bit.
Well, I still wouldn't fancy that.
You won't fancy, no.
If that whale just decided, actually, I'm going to go back and have a nap on the bottom of this ocean now.
Well, that would be a
just drown
problem.
inside a whale's mouth.
That would be a big problem, yeah. So maybe that hasn't put people's hearts at rest.
I was going to say, I happen to know that Khloe Kardashian is afraid of whales, so I feel like this would be her worst nightmare.
Well, she can't be swallowed by one.
Well, that's good. So she just have to die inside the mouth, knowing.
I think humpback whales are pretty friendly. They're gonna spit you back out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my strange thing of the week. What do you think about that?
I am, yeah. That is a very strange thing. And I just think what a lucky human to have survived that. But like, God, imagine being the dad and watching your son
Oh my goodness.
get eaten by a whale.
I mean, he literally watches him get swallowed. There's a camera on him. He's watching him, and this whale just comes up and just swallows his son. It's quite wild to watch. I do recommend going on YouTube now and just typing it after you've finished the episode, of course.
I'll be so scared.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But what's your next segment?
Well, my darling, on this iteration of Shelby's Good Vibes Only, I was hoping that I could have like some sort of segue, like, because we don't tell each other what we're going to talk about in these segments.
No, I think that's a lot better because then it's an honest reaction, isn't
exactly,
it?
it is. I was hoping for an interesting segue. Oh, wait, got it. From the depths of the ocean to the depths of a girl's pocket.
Okay.
In this episode of this version of Shelby's Good Vibes Only,
Okay.
I've learned that a girl wrote to Sainsbury's, a young girl, because she noticed that all of the girls' trousers didn't have any pockets. And in her words, girls need to carry things too. This is Georgia. Let me see if I can get the girl's actual name.
There's a lot of women out there that are speaking to the choir.
Yeah, absolutely. So this young girl from Ipswich called Georgia wrote to Sainsbury's and were like, you need to. Me and my mum. Oh, she said even in this letter to Sainsbury's, me and my mummy went shopping for trousers for school, and we noticed that there weren't any pockets in the girls' trousers. Girls need to carry things too. When will this change? She did receive a reply from Sainsbury's, who said thank you for pointing this out. We'll take it into consideration. She then got her 56 students, including boys from her school, to design, and she's a primary school student. I think that's awesome.
Wow.
To sign this letter, this petition, sent it to Sainsbury's. They didn't reply to this, but the next year, she found that they did have deep pockets on the girls' trousers.
Wow.
Sainsbury's have failed to comment on whether or not it's in response to this girl's message.
Ah.
But I think they were some money.
Too bloody right. She at least some like an award or something.
Yeah.
Like have some representative go to the school and in the morning assembly, have someone come in and give her a free bag of shopping or something.
Yeah. Some sew-on pockets.
Yeah. Or just a nice award for like how entrepreneurial,
Absolutely, and that's feminism in action. I think that's fantastic. She was like, "This is an injustice. Girls need to carry things too. It's not just boys that need to carry things. It is a microaggression against women to not have pockets in things, because we don't have pockets, we then need to carry bags, and then we're the responsible carrier of the things.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. Yeah.
So, we just put this in your bag. I'm free to
Yeah.
walk and do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
You've got to carry all the things. Oh, nappies. Well, you've got a bag, so
May as well put it.
you put the nappies in your bag. Or the baby's bottle. Can you just put it in your bag?
Yeah. So true.
And so on. So I think that's absolutely phenomenal news that this girl has written Sainsbury's and they've changed their children's trousers to now have pockets, so that the young girls aren't burdened with carrying stuff in a bag.
No, I mean, I'm shocked that school trousers for girls didn't have them in. I know, like, women's jeans don't, and most trousers for women's don't, but I'm shocked that...
Well, trousers, I would say, typically do now, but, historically not so.
Oh, I thought... I still hear the complaints.
Yeah, no,
You're saying all your trousers have pockets in now?
We only buy trousers with pockets. But that's...
But it's not... It's a bit harder to find, right?
Yeah, like a lot.
That was the complaint I always heard.
Well, I suppose like leggings and yoga leggings, women's trousers, typically.
Yeah,
or
it's quite a common thing.
Men's always have pockets, don't they? Women's don't always
we have
have
like
pockets.
5 or 6 pockets. Yeah,
and like dresses and skirts and things that women typically, things that are worn typically by women only, wouldn't have pockets. So, but that's changed now, thanks to one girl in Ipswich and her...
What's her name? Do we know her name?
Georgia. Let me see if I can find...
Georgia.
I don't think it's got her last name on it.
Maybe we don't tell her school or something. Well, it's out there. It's in a press release.
Yeah.
But Georgia from Ipswich, well done.
Yeah.
Excellent work. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my positive story for this week, and it really made me smile when I read it.
That is wonderful. Yeah. Maybe we bring her on the podcast.
Maybe we do.
Yeah, but I think she'd be lovely to interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There we go. But what a wonderful, wonderful day. What a wonderful episode.
Yes.
Another adventure wrapped up.
But the journey never ends.
Keep your bags packed for the next one, and remember, when in doubt, just say, Yalla Habibi, see you next time.